To prepare for the upcoming crypto bull market, I would like to compare 5 crypto launchpads today because new projects being born in the bull market tend to 100, 2, 3, 4, 500x, and we can invest in that through launchpads. So let's take a look at Seedify, Poolz Finance, Decubate, Enjinstarter and ChainGPT. Is it worth it to invest in those? Also, there's a grasshopper on my green screen, but you can't see it because, well, it's green. Let's dive right into the content. So I personally made a lot of money with crypto launchpads, and therefore I created the project What Do You Meme? And with What Do You Meme, we invest in crypto launchpads, but with a lot more money than the average person can, because you have to have a high allocation to get more in return. And also a lot of people from the USA or other countries cannot participate in these launchpads in the first place. So therefore What Do You Meme is a very good option. But what are the best launchpads? Well, let's take a look. In the meantime, all I ask in return is if you like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn the bell notification on, because we are here to battle every day in the bear to make it in the bull. The first launchpad I would like to review is Seedify. It's also the launchpad I personally have most experience with. I'm in this launchpad for the longest, and Seedify was always my favorite project and is my highest holding. But I say it was my favorite project. Is it still? Well, Seedify has been lagging a little bit these days, and a lot of things they don't have it really together. But overall, as we can see here, if we go to IDO platform ROI and we look over the year, Seedify is #1. BSC pad is sitting above, but that only had one launch, so I don't think that's really relevant. But Seedify with 14 launches is beating DAOmaker, TrustSwap, Enjinstarter and other launchpads in the crypto space. So it does give us the highest returns, but it's not only about returns. How is the refund policy? How does the platform work? How's the communication? Is it a good and safe long-term hold? Well, user experience, that's what I would like to start with. I'm now logged in with the wallet of What Do You Meme? We are staking 50,000 Seedify tokens, so we are currently in tier 8. There's tier 1 up till 9. And how expensive is it to get in these tiers? We will discuss that as well. I must say, user experience lately to start off bad, that sucks. It says KYC not verified. That's not true. It says tier, once you start having activity, the level will show here. I already have my it's not complete. I don't see my seed staking points right here. There's no information. The website is not on point, really. Also, lately, when it comes to claiming the tokens, it's a big mess. Therefore, they lately airdrop the tokens. And that's a fine solution for a problem that you can solve as well. There are a lot of launchpads where the basics just work. With Seedify, the website doesn't already work. The communication isn't top-notch. So Seedify is really lagging lately, and they try to be super innovative. That's what I like, because they are doing things that other launchpads don't, like with their seed staking points. But on the other hand, other projects at least have the basics together, and Seedify does not have that. So I feel like just take a step back, get your basics together, make sure that your website at least functions, and then start expanding. They try to rush it, it's what it seems, and that's just not good. And that's what we can see in the price as well. People are losing faith in Seedify, and that's very understandable. It's a bear market, so people are losing faith overall. But since Seedify is really showing their, their amateuristic sides as well now in this bear market, people are selling this off harder than any other launchpad, and the token went from $18 all the way to 56 cents. So that's a lot lower, of course. Now, is this a good buying zone? I don't know. It could get lower. It could not get lower. That's not what I can tell you in this video. We could do some TA, but that's not what this video is about. But the price is actually reflecting how the project is doing lately. This is their tier system. So in order to be eligible for tier 1, you have to have 500 Seedify tokens, which is currently around $250. It's still quite expensive to step into Seedify compared to other launchpads. But this used to be a lot more, as one token was $18. Seedify was the elite launchpad, basically, to put it like that. It was unaffordable. It was way too expensive. And now we can say it's coming back to prices that normal people can afford as well. I mean, at the end of the day, people also look like, okay, how much does it cost me to get a certain tier and what's the allocation that I get, right? And if this is already too expensive, this was $1.8 million at the peak. Yeah, nobody in their right mind is going to pay that. Now, it depends on how much money they raise and also how much people participate. But overall, if you, let's say, are in tier 8, you get an allocation of around $700, sometimes slightly higher for a pre-sale. They also have a first come first serve, which is based on your actual tier, right? With other Launchpads, you have to register interest and you automatically get a higher allocation in the first round, but you get no first come first serve or no high first come first serve. With Seedify, this is often a 2 or 3x of your average allocation. So let's say tier 8, you get an allocation of around $3,000. So that's with a $25,000 investment, give or take. So you only have to pull off 110x to make this all back. The ratio there is pretty good. About the refund system, Seedify has updated it not too long ago and they made it very simple. They have an unconditional refund for 7 or for 14 days. So this guarantees you that you can easily request a refund within 7 or 14 days of the project's listing in case you haven't claimed your tokens. So that's it. Very easy. I must say that, yeah, it depends. Is that good or not? You know, if you decide not to reclaim or not to refund your tokens after 14 days, then whatever happens after 14 days is your loss. But yeah, then again, like, yeah, they cannot take the whole risk away for you. But this is fine. This is pretty good. So the refund is good. The user experience sucks. The ROI is good. And the price was ridiculously expensive and is now going back to normal. And therefore the allocations are quite high though. The market cap of the S-Fund token is sitting at $30 million at the moment of recording, which looks like, okay, this is 10xable from this point. So overall, I like Seedify still, although they have a lot of problems lately. I do like it overall. Now let's review another project, another Launchpad that I am invested and interested in with myself and also with What Do You Mean? And this one is Poolz Finance. The thing that I like about Poolz Finance is that their market cap is sitting quite low. So if you look at CoinGecko and you look what the Poolz token is currently worth, they don't have a lot of history as they were hacked and they had to rebuild this, but that wasn't a problem. But the market cap is around $10 million. And the fully diluted market cap is give or take the same. So it is a very low cap token. Also, if we look at CryptoRank, they release a lot of projects even during the bear market. And it's not that they release like shit projects. Well, they also do that, but they released Carbon browser, which did fantastic. Enjinstarter released it as well. They also released ChainGPT and they released Hypercycle, which is still sitting very high. DexCheck did very well as well. So they have a couple of good projects in the bear market that they have released already. And if you look back what they did in the bull market, they did pretty fantastic as well, as they have 11x, 7x, 10x, 34x. Like this is bull market X's, right? 40x, 13. 150x, 34x, 10, 20. So overall, Poolz Finance does give you the projects that have a good return. And that's what I really like about it. They do have a refund system, which every Launchpad has, of course, but they do have a pretty decent refund system. You can claim the tokens. The users will claim the tokens after the TGE, and the rest of the vested tokens will be secured by Poolz. If the token drops below the IDO price before the future distributions, Poolz will refund automatically and protect your investment. So that's really cool. And refund, you get 100% refund on the allocation. The funds will be sent to you a couple of days later, so you can actually choose to do that. Now, of course, you won't have forever to do that. I think it's for like a week or something like that. Risk-free users can ask, 100% BUSD, which is now USDT, by the way, refund up to 24 hours after listing. So that's pretty cool. It's just a day, but you can choose it for yourself. After that day, yeah, too bad shit if the price goes below IDO price, but crypto can be risk-free, of course, so ain't Launchpads. When it comes to the platform, is it user friendly, is it, you know, it is pretty okay. I'm on our Launchpad wallet right now. Let me switch to the Binance Smart Chain so we have some information that we might not have right now. So here you can find your dashboard, how much tokens you have currently, what your investments are actually. So as you can see right here, I invested in virtual versions with $228 allocation. You can see right here the projects that are going to release, and you can whitelist yourself for that. So they I don't know, it's up to you. You can do it for yourself, and that's pretty cool as well. What I also like, Open Fabric, for example, they give a lot of information. It's very clear about the tokenomics, how much you get, how the claiming works, what the token price is, market cap, etc., the chain, all the information. So it does have a very good overview also about the project itself, what it is. You find the links to the project all on this page as well, at this page above right here. So I like how this looks. You also, by the way, if you lock your Poolz tokens, you have to lock your tokens to be eligible for these Launchpads. And if you have this many tokens, then you have a cooldown period. So if I now unlock the tokens, I get them back in 20 days. And within these 20 days, I cannot participate in any other projects. Fair enough. Like, you know, not a lot of projects have this model, but I'm mad at that. The circulating supply locked is basically 80%. So that's definitely not bad. That's around basically everything, right? That's except for 20%. So a lot of tokens are actually locked right here. You can claim your tokens right here. You have a lot of stuff saying that you should be or do something or anything like that. Unlock your tokens. It's pretty clear. It has a good overview. So that's what I like. Some downsides about Poolz Finance is that someone from our community addressed the points that I completely agree on. He said the process would have been smoother if the right link was provided in the first place, because Poolz Finance gave us the wrong claim link and therefore we couldn't claim the tokens. In the meantime, the token price skydived to the downside and we missed out on a lot of money. It would have been smoother if the tokens are to be found under private round instead of KOL round. They put that wrong as well. And if the message was pinned here, because somewhere someone left a message here where we could have claimed it, but you have to scroll and happen to see it, otherwise you wouldn't know about it. So these are three very good points. And one of the team members, they responded very amateuristic. Someone said apologies and okay, cool. But then someone else said, not over our control, handled by the token team, but thanks. Like, no responsibility at all. So that kind of sucks that Poolz Finance does, obviously. It's even the co-founder. Right, that's what I find. It's not just a moderator or anything like that. It's the co-founder of Poolz Finance who is, if I hope you watch, you don't respond to your community like that. This is highly unprofessional, and take responsibility over what goes wrong if you want to grow your project. This is super amateuristic, and this makes Poolz Finance definitely not a top tier Launchpad, in my opinion. Also, the allocations are super low. They talked about that quite a lot as well. And the problem is that I have bought, with what do you mean, around $8,000 worth of tokens, and the tokens gave me a allocation of, it was $220, give or take, which is not that much, of course. You see me bitching about the claiming, which didn't work, but he said we have some holders that holds over 100,000 Poolz tokens. For them there was an allocation of around $2,000, $2,500. But plus 100k, so that's at least 100k. Now the problem is that if you look at how much one Poolz Finance token is, that's $2 at this moment, and it came from far already. So if you want to hold more than 100k tokens, you pay $200,000 for a $2,000 investment, which is ridiculous. So every $100 invested in their token gives you a $1 investment, give or take. Well, that's crazy expensive of course. And I don't have $200,000 laying around right now, let alone what it costed further in the bull market back then. So even though Poolz Finance is a very low market cap launchpad, it's still one of the most expensive launchpads to be in. Together with the fact that they don't really take responsibility of what they do wrong, I don't feel really comfortable with putting a lot of money into Poolz Finance. The next one is Enjinstarter. And Enjinstarter, the token itself is quite low cap, $11 million market cap, 15 million fully diluted, so not a big difference right there. And the Enjinstarter token is now finally going down. But what I really like is that basically whole 2023, where only Bitcoin went up and basically all altcoins went down, Enjinstarter was one of these few tokens that also went up with it. It definitely showed some strength, but now it is fading back down. And I feel like, okay, maybe this level is a good buying level right now. I don't know. Could go low. It could go all the way, make a new low. No idea. But the price has shown strength during this bear market. Now, the Enjinstarter tier system, it looks a little complex, but it's actually not, although it's quite hard to say what you will actually get. You have a galaxy, universe, metaverse, and multiverse tier. And multiverse, you have to have at least 500,001 tokens. Currently, that's $1,500. So that's quite affordable to get the highest tier, right? But with, for example, what do you mean? We have more like 5 million tokens. Why? Because they say it right here as well. The more you stake, the more allocation you will get. So it goes up the more tokens you have, and it seems to have no limit. Overall, when I invested the same amount in Seedify and Enjinstarter, nowadays it's giving me give or take the same allocation. Enjinstarter gives you a very high allocation in the first round, but in the first come first serve, it is very low. It's close to zero. That's because you have to register interest so that I already know who's going to participate. And with Seedify, everybody gets an allocation just based on their tier, and what's left is also based on your tier. The downside about Enjinstarter is that they offer you a higher allocation if you stake longer. And I like the idea in theory, but the thing is that you get a way higher allocation if you stake for a ridiculous 999 days. Problem is that's quite like 3 years from now, and in 3 years from now I expect to be in a new bear market again. So if you now stake it for 3 years, then there is a good chance that your tokens are worthless by then, if Enjinstarter is still around. And you always in crypto want to keep your crypto a little liquid, of course. You are the owner and you can lock it. You cannot claim it before these days are over, also not by paying a penalty fee or whatsoever. That's quite of a shame. If other people do it, that's good for you, of course, because less selling pressure. But then again, if the Enjinstarter token itself does 100x and you would like to sell, you can't, and your hands are tied. And I personally think that 3 years is like way too long. You do get access to private rounds and exclusive rounds. So, you know, I haven't witnessed many of those, but yeah, that's what you get as well for staking so long. The returns of Enjinstarter are definitely not bad as well. They are in the top 5, and that's quite nice to be in, actually. If you look what Enjinstarter has released lately, they don't release the worst projects nowadays, so I kind of like that. They release the same as Seedify, basically. They have Solidus, Simba, which was cancelled by the way, but Sophiaverse, DexCheck, Cogito, Elderune, Arbify, ChainGPT, Games for a Living. They have really good projects that they release. And a lot of projects that they release, they did make some decent returns. In the bull market, it's of course high. You see more regularly 20x's, 50, 13, 30x's, give or take. So I think that Enjinstarter is, when it comes to that, compared to the price, a pretty good launchpad. When it comes to the user experience, you can check out the projects on the website. They have allocation and claims right there. Once you connect your wallet, you can actually see it. So let me connect my wallet. You will find all the information about the tokenomics, about you know, the vesting, everything like that, your allocation as soon as it's live, the project itself. So that's what I really like about Enjinstarter. What I don't like about Enjinstarter is it's not clear. They don't have a good claiming section. If you ever invested in a project, you really have to look at at them one by one to go to your allocation and claims and see like, hey, this is what I've bought, so I can claim it right there. They should have a more better overview. I asked about that like a year ago. They said they were working on it. Apparently they are not, so that kind of sucks. So also for Enjinstarter, quite a point to improve in my opinion. Their moderators and the Telegram are very helpful. Sometimes you know when they have a bad day though, so they don't keep that professional attitude at all times. I get that though. But overall Enjinstarter, it can improve some, but I like it. All right, ChainGPT. This is super new, so it's hard to say something. However, I would like to say that one experience that I had on this Launchpad, once their first come first serve started, I had to sign this message again. Every time you go to this website, for some reason, you have to sign this message. And that quite sucks because this was popping up all the time during their first come first serve, which made me miss out on their first come first serve round. So their website was a little lagging, a little glitching, and therefore I actually missed out on the first come first serve of Solidus AI Tech, which happened to do very well. So I could have got way more money out of it if their website was working. And for a project that focuses on AI and such revolution and then I feel like, okay, but maybe you should focus on a good website first. So I don't really like that, to be honest. Also, when we look at the ChainGPT price itself, it's not looking so good, of course. A lot of token investing, the hype seems to cool off a little bit, and the token only is going down, down, down. So it's very hard for me to say like, well, yeah, it's maybe good to buy because maybe in a few months the token is sitting at a cent, right? It's so far that's where it's going, and we don't know where it stops until it stops. Their tier system is pretty clear. You have to have 200,000 points to be in the highest tier. Now, if you stake it for the longest time, so for 1 year, then you get 2x your points of the tokens that you have. So you actually have to have 100,000 tokens to get 200,000 points. 100,000 tokens for ChainGPT are currently, well, I think $3,700. Let me take a look really quick if that's actually the case. $3,800. So it's relative cheap. The allocation was quite high. I got an allocation of $1,700 in the last pre-sale that I participated in. But then again, it's also that if you have the highest tier, like Enjinstarter, you can buy more to get more as well. Because as you can see, I have 300,000 tokens right here. So I have basically 3 diamond tiers instead of 1. And that raises your allocation a little bit. So it is a relative cheap Launchpad with high allocation so far. But it can get way cheaper if you buy the token at a lower price, of course, and that's still what's happening. So when it comes to user experience, the first thing that I said that the website was lagging, I didn't really like that. The team on the Telegram, they did not really respond to that, and I did feel like, man, you with ChainGPT are building so much that I feel like, aren't you taking too much, right? Like if something goes wrong with your Launchpad, you want your people to be there, and these people couldn't be there. So that quite sucked. For the rest, however, if we take a look at previous projects that they have done, so for example, Solidus AI, you can see right here how much you have bought. I had $1,100 with DexChecker, I had 17. But you can see how much you got for this vesting, when the next vesting is, if you have claimed that already. So that's all pretty clear, I must say. It's not hard to find out how it works if you look at this. When it comes to the refund system, it looks like they have the same as Seedify. If you claim your tokens, then you will not be able to get a refund, and every IDO will have a refund system of 7 up till 14 days. However, in the presence of certain circumstances, the ChainGPT team may adjust it as needed. So they are flexible when it comes to that. So it's not much different than Seedify. This, by the way, I don't know if I skipped it, but also goes for Enjinstarter. The last one is Decubate, and Decubate was a launchpad that is less familiar. Also because Decubate is quite new, but I noticed that Decubate was releasing some good projects lately, and therefore I felt like, okay, maybe it's worth to invest in it. It has a market cap of $3 million, fully diluted 11 million, so it's super low cap. And when you look at the price, Decubate had a pretty decent pump this year. However, if we look at the price a little closer right here, it does look a little dangerous, right? There is an accumulation phase, an upwards trend, and a huge distribution phase. Yeah, will it maintain this level or will it collapse completely? That can of course happen purely based on the price chart, so that's a little bit dangerous. What I also don't really like about Decubate is that I think I invested like $8,000 in their token. I get the highest tier ×2 even. So I have a pretty decent tier on Decubate, but with 2 projects I could have just invested $620. So the allocation on Decubate is super low, although the market cap is very low as well. So if Decubate ever goes up in price, then this launchpad is completely unaffordable. Is it user friendly? Yeah, it's quite user friendly, I must say. It's very clear how much tokens you have invested in, how much you are getting vested. I mean, when you are getting it vested, they make it very clear on every project that they have right there. So I like that. You can stake your tokens right here. So you see the engage pool where you engage with. This is where I have my tokens, for example. You get an APR of around 12%, so that's pretty decent as well. So I like that. When it comes to the support, the moderators, the team, I really don't have any information on that yet, as I haven't interacted with it. So I cannot give you any common sense about that. Their refund system depends on your tier, which I don't like. I think that someone who has just $1,000 to spend should have the same right to get a refund as someone who has $100,000 to spend. I think that's completely ridiculous in my opinion. As you can see right here, if you stake, the percentage of the amount of refund that you get goes up, and you have to stake at least 1.8 million Decubate to get a full refund of your funds. 1.8 million is $20,000. Not everybody has $20,000 to spare, and everybody that has less than that won't get a full refund of their investment. Yeah, that seems highly unfair if you ask me. So as you can see right here, if you have the lowest tier, you get just half of your money back. Silver tier 75%, gold 80%, platinum 90%, diamond 95%, and then you have to pay them more money to get more money in return, which is your own in the first place. So how long do you have the time to get a refund? It depends on the project, its vesting period, the round we offer, several other variables that may be negotiated separately with each project. So it's also something you do not really know what you're getting when you invest in Decubate. It is quite expensive as well. It's by far not my favorite launchpad, and I think this is well down below the list. That's it. That's my top 5 launchpads to review right now. If you have any other launchpads you would like me to take a look at, let them know in the comments so I could take a look at it. If you like the content, please like the content, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and I'm going to kill that grasshopper right there. Alright, see ya.